What's up, everyone? It's Scotty with MoneyVest. So markets here rolling over intraday. So they were obviously pulling back after hitting new all-time highs and gapping up on the back of Nvidia earnings. And it was actually quite crazy how much liquidity just came out of every single part of the market and just flooded into this one stock and one stock only. The heat map looks literally insane. Like, what the heck? What is going on with this one company? It's just crazy. I'll show you guys that, and of course you can see that for yourself. But boy, oh boy, I mean, this one company is just propelling the market to newer and newer heights, and it's all happening on the back of Nvidia. That's it. So hope you all enjoy this video and find it helpful. Make sure that you drop a like and of course subscribe to the channel. If you're just joining us for the first time, links to our Discord and Patreon is going to be down below if you're interested in joining us. And of course, getting access to all the members-only private videos. There's over 50 plus videos that you can access, tutorials, educational videos on fundamental analysis, technical analysis, options trading, as well as over 20 plus Discord channels, including all the trade alerts and trade ideas and options alerts as well. And also get access to a lot of our individual courses, currently 50% off. Coupon code is going to be May50, and both of these expires at the end of this month. Also, check out my Instagram. My handle is going to be CastWRP. Would love to connect with you over there as well. I do post a lot of interesting stories, a little bit more about my personal life over there as well. So first things first, let's take a look at the markets intraday. So I did mention in one of my videos in sort of today, and also in our Discord, talking about how the volatility is at its lowest level in 5 years. I went over the market's technical positioning and essentially talked about that, look, we need to be cautious, we need to be alert here in this market environment, considering how overbought we are, how many stocks are pushing to new all-time highs, how many stocks are trading above their moving averages, how low the volatility is. And for those reasons, the technical positioning from a risk-reward standpoint is not favorable, right? Because of all the reasons that I just mentioned. And of course, the markets are starting to roll over a little bit intraday. So we're seeing the Dow Jones drop about 1.5%, S&P is down about 75 basis points, and NASDAQ down about 38 basis points as well. But none of that matters to the only company that really matters at the end of the day in the market, and that is Nvidia, up over 9% to close at just over $1,037 on the day. Every single other stock was basically red. There were only 54 companies in the S&P 500, so just 10% of the S&P 500 that was green, and no other stock was even remotely close to what Nvidia did on the day. And this right here is probably one of the craziest charts I have seen ever, where everywhere there's red. There's literally everywhere. Apple down 2%, Google down 1.5%, Amazon down 1%, Tesla's down 3.5%, Meta's down 40 basis points, Microsoft's down 80 basis points, AMD was down 3%, Texas Instruments, Intel, ADI, everything, the entire financial sector, the banking sector, auto manufacturers, industrials, real estate, energy, utilities, materials, healthcare, consumer defensives, you name it. Every sector was red except for this one little block right over here, which pushed higher by 9%. Literally, all the money is going to Nvidia. All the money is going to Nvidia. And it's kind of crazy because Nvidia's 9% rally does mean that it added close to $250 billion in market cap. And of course, the fact that other stocks are selling off, Nvidia's really just grabbing all liquidity. It's literally just a liquidity grab right now. You know, and that's what it's doing. It's just taking all investors in from all other stocks and sectors. This is absolutely crazy. Like, what is going on over here? Everything's red. Nvidia is the only one standing by itself, green by up over 9%, adding over 250 billion. We might as well just replace S&P 500 with Nvidia now. I think it's fair to say that we don't need the NASDAQ, we don't need the S&P, we just need Nvidia. That's the market index. That's it. I think that should do it. And this right here was the biggest divergence between Nvidia and the S&P in over 8 years. So the last time this happened was back in May 2016, May 13, 2016. So in the same year, in the same month, actually, the same month in 2016, so about 8 years ago, where the NASDAQ, the S&P 500 was down 0.5%, at least 0.5%, and Nvidia stock was up 7%. And this, of course, happened 8 years ago when Nvidia was a completely different company. Revenues for that quarter was about $1.3 billion for this company. And at the time, the market cap was a little bit over 22 billion. And now, of course, things have changed dramatically where the revenue alone for the quarter came in at $26 billion in the market cap, sitting at well over $2 trillion for the company as well. So it's just Nvidia's world, and we're all just living in it because this chart is absolutely wild. This right here is the entire, again, performance from sectors. All sectors were red except for technology, and only because of Nvidia. In the last 1 week, everything is red except for technology, all thanks to Nvidia. In the last 1 month, there's been more sectors green. Energy's been selling off because of the pullback in crude oil prices, but technology sector is up the most, up over 9%, thanks to Nvidia. This right here is going to be the performance for futures and commodities. So cocoa prices, oats, orange juice, wheat, natural gas, all pushing higher with lumber. Coffee prices, feeder cattle pulling back. And then we got Bitcoin just a little bit over 67,000 and Ether just over 3,800 as well. So this right here is the performance for Nvidia stock. Again, just absolutely incredible. From lows of about $109 to $1,000. It's now up officially up over 857%. If we take into account where it was during the low of October 22 at $109 to where it is now at $1,050, we are looking at over a 900% rally in about 18 months for this stock, getting up to a market cap of $2.5 trillion. Incredible. Congratulations to everybody who owns Nvidia, who's been trading Nvidia, or who has SMH or semiconductor stocks or other semis. Artificial intelligence, of course, has taken off like wildfire, and Nvidia is the leader, the market leader, and really at the forefront of AI, and just providing a lot of these companies, selling them with computing power to perform their own large language models, create their own LLMs, and of course, they are just absolutely raking in revenues and profits, and just insane amount of profitability and revenue growth for this company. So again, huge congratulations to everyone. It's the heat map. It's just, I can't get over the heat map. The heat map is out of this world. I've never seen anything like it. Even during the Tesla days, even when Tesla was pushing higher, back in 2021, 2020, we still didn't see anything remotely close to like this, where Tesla was the only stock up 10-12% and everything else, the entire market was down. Nope. It was when Tesla was higher or Apple was higher, pretty much the entire market was green. There was bullish sentiment across the board. But today it was just, I think it was a very, very unique day. I think it has to go down in history as one of the days where Nvidia, probably the only company grabbing all liquidity up over 9%. Yes, there were other stocks like ELF, also deserves some recognition, up over 18%, and Dava up over 6%. We had Zim integrated up 2%. ASML was up 1.2%, but it's just the heat map, man. I can't get over the fact that this looked like this, where there was everything red, right? With small pockets, of course, green, but the big block of Nvidia just kind of bullying everybody on the block, really just pushing higher with everything selling off. Anyway, going over to volatility first. So we did see a little bit of a spike of over 3.9%. I want to remind everyone that we are, again, at really low levels. I mentioned this in our Discord. I talked about this in a video, 6 percentile, which is extremely low. So we just got to be super careful. And this is not a surprise. The market's rolling over intraday, but the volatility spiking is not a surprise. I specifically did a video during market open hours and talked about this in our Discord. Just be careful, just be cautious. That volatility is low. Markets are at an all-time high, gapping higher. Multiples are high. Overbought conditions, technical positioning is not that favorable. Risk rewards are not that favorable. So just got to be super careful here, considering the VIX can spike. And of course, the markets can pull back or see a little bit of a dip. So on the day, of course, we did see some selling pressure. And I wouldn't be surprised if this continues, if there's some profit taking that happens for Nvidia, for companies that are already trading near all-time highs. And I flagged 4 companies Google, Microsoft, Nvidia, and Apple among the Magnificent Seven that are trading, of course, near overbought levels at the moment. So volatility, keep an eye and be alert. And Bitcoin here just starting to pull back, of course, from that resistance of 72,000, trading at support at 67,500, and Ether here also a little bit under 3,800, and resistance is going to be all the way up to 4,000, with the support level staying put at 3,650 for Ether as well. Talking a little bit about our MoneyVest index, so we are seeing a pullback. So there was a decent drop, 3.64 is where we are. So perhaps it is time for us to start getting ready for when the buying opportunities come our way, because we are starting to see that pullback once again, something that we want to see, something that we really want to wait for. And right now we're at 3.64. The last buying opportunity was back on April 20th, as I mentioned in my previous videos, when the index was at 3. And of course, the closer it gets down to 3, or perhaps even lower at 2.5 or 2 or sub 2, the better the risk reward, the better the deals are going to be, the better discounts we're going to get, and then we can start dollar cost averaging a little bit more aggressively into the markets once again. So those right there are going to be some levels to keep in mind for the markets, for MoneyVest index as well. Crude oil prices continue to slide lower. The next target and support is going to be closer to $73, $74 a barrel here. That's going to be the green rectangle, and we obviously got a breakdown below from this head and shoulders pattern for crude oil as well. Talking about S&P over here, so on the daily time frame, we are seeing, of course, a bit of a pullback. So this, down about 34 basis points. Again, should not come as a surprise, because this is very, very normal in the markets. We were, of course, overbought. You can see the RSI, the MACD, the L3 banker oscillator. So we're all starting to kind of roll over, which again is very normal. Next support is going to be down as low as 51.85 to as low as 5,060 for the S&P 500. So of course, gapped up, new all-time high, but intraday sold right back down. So red candle down about 74 basis points. Next target is going to be closer to 51.85 down to 5,060. Same thing is true for the NASDAQ as well. Look at that candle here. Huge red candle, intraday selling pressure for the NASDAQ here, 40 basis points lower, RSI, MACD, and the L3 indicator. Everything, again, kind of rolling off, stabilizing a little bit. So wouldn't be surprised to see some type of correction here, some type of pullback, considering that we've got those two things at an extreme. Volatility is really low, markets at an all-time high with overbought conditions. So it's very normal, it's very usual to see a bit of a pullback or a dip at these conditions. So support level, of course, is going to stay put down inside this green rectangle, and all the way down to sub 16,000 for the NASDAQ as well. Talking about Apple here, and Apple on the day also rolling over, considering that we did talk about this. RSI, MACD, you can see kind of overbought conditions. We're starting to roll over. Resistance is going to stay put at 192 for Apple, 192 all the way up to as much as 195. So inside this red rectangle, and right now, of course, we're starting to see a little bit of a pullback, and support level is going to stay put all the way down here at 165, 164 for Apple, of course. That's going to be the first level of support, all the way down to tier 2 support, to as low as that tier 3 support, much stronger level in the 130s for Apple. Talking about Amazon, and Amazon here also starting to roll over a little bit, and 181 is where we're at. RSI, MACD coming down. So this is not overbought. This is already in the neutral range. And we've got a double top resistance at 188, 190 for Amazon, with a very strong support sitting at 171, down to as low as 159 for Amazon. Tesla giving back on almost all of the gains. It was higher 6% a couple days ago, and then of course sold right back down. Just really struggling in and around these levels. Resistance, huge resistance, staying put at roughly around 197, 198 for Tesla, and it's just not able to successfully break out above these levels, and of course starting to roll over once again in the 170s. Support level very, very strongly sitting inside this green rectangle in the 150s right now. And again, huge area of supply in the 190s to as much as 200s. So we're seeing a lot of consolidation sideways in that range for Tesla. So we're kind of like in the middle, not doing much at the moment. Talking about advanced micro devices, and AMD here selling off despite semiconductor stocks, despite Nvidia pushing higher, because again, it's just taking all liquidity away from a lot of these companies. And the interesting thing is that it wasn't all semiconductor stocks pushed higher. A lot of them actually went down. SMH was up over 1.3%. That's what I have a really big position in. And of course, Nvidia up over 9 times that, and kind of really outshowing a lot of other companies within the semiconductor sector as well. So really, it's just Nvidia's world right now. And AMD here selling right back down. This is going to be a very strong support level to watch for advanced micro devices. So inside this green rectangle, inside this support for the company as well. Sitting roughly at 146, 147. Coming over to the big winner, excuse me. Nvidia here, huge breakout, all-time highs. Support level is going to stay put down at $971 to as low as $900 to as low as $845. In my Nvidia video in the earnings preview, I mentioned that, of course, if Nvidia comes out with huge beats and, of course, strong guidance, it could easily propel over $1,000 per share. And again, of course, it did not disappoint. Huge breakout, splits coming up on June 7th. Actually, June 10th, it says 10-for-1 stocks, but it's going to be trading back down in the hundreds. And right now, of course, very overbought as well. So that's all I'm going to say about Nvidia. And again, the valuation is, last time we checked, it was a little bit over 40 times 2024 earnings expectations. 2025, 40 times 2025 earnings expectations here for the company as well. Talking a little bit about PayPal, and PayPal here continues to drop further, pulling back about almost 1%, breaking down from its higher low. So back inside this green rectangle, which has historically been an area of consolidation for PayPal, and support level is going to stay put down at $57, $56 per share for this company, with a resistance up to $65 per share, all the way up to as much as $68 for PayPal as well. So a lot of consolidation sideways, with massive resistance sitting at $68 to as much as $70 per share for PayPal, and a support level sitting put at $57 a share here. Talking about Visa, and Visa here also just pulling back after the little bit of a rally that we witnessed from lows of about 265 to as much as 285. So this is going to continue to stay put as a huge resistance for Visa, and support level is going to stay put at 265 for the company as well, down to as low as 249 for Visa. Talking about Meta platforms, and Meta here also consolidating sideways inside this green rectangle and that area of support. So a lot of consolidation here. Support level is going to stay put at 454, down to as low as 386 for Meta, and resistance, of course, to as much as 515 to 531 for Meta platforms as well. So a lot of consolidation sideways here in that range, and like I said, support level at 450 down to 386 for the company. Talking about Netflix, and Netflix here was making new 52-week highs, starting to roll over just a little bit, 75 basis points lower. Support level is going to stay put down at 600, so 598 to 600 to be precise. And again, next target and resistance pretty much at all-time highs at well over $700. But again, it is quite overbought here at the moment, so wouldn't be surprised if we do see a bit of a pullback or a correction for Netflix as well. Talking about Google. And Google here also was one of the stocks that I flagged from a overbought technical positioning standpoint. Pulled back 1.65% down to 175, so not a surprise why it's coming down. Support level is going to stay put down at 174, down to as low as 152 for Google as well. So again, that is going to be that next support level, also aligned with that higher low for this company. RSI MACD, of course, coming down a little bit as well. Talking about Microsoft, and Microsoft here also starting to roll over, down a little bit over 82 basis points. Again, overbought conditions, resistance at close to 430, getting a little bit of that rejection from those levels, and support level at 417, down to as low as low 400s, which is where it was oversold, and it's going to start presenting some pretty good buying opportunities for us once again. So the bottom line is there's a lot of companies, a lot of stocks out there that are trading at overbought conditions. Technical overbought positioning here, which we have talked about in our previous videos, is nothing unusual. It happens all the time, and I think it's okay for us to see a bit of a pullback or a dip in the market when you kind of look at a lot of different metrics and kind of understand that risk reward is not that great in these current market environments here. And Enphase, for example, is also trading down about 3%. This is going to be a very important level of support at $100 and $809 per share. Resistance all the way up to 138 for Enphase as well. And finally, we come over to Costco, which also is starting to roll over a little bit. A massive rally of 15-16% for Costco from these levels. And again, very, very overbought at these levels, and support level is going to stay put at $785 for Costco, down to as low as $747. So hope you all enjoy this video and a complete update on the markets. I still can't get over this chart and how crazy it is. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What do you think about Nvidia's rally? What do you think about the overall market? And what do you think about volatility? And what are you planning to do in this market environment? So let us know in the comment section down below. As always, if you enjoyed it, found it helpful, make sure that you drop a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Join us in our Patreon, 50 plus access to members only, 50 plus videos, including our Discord channel, straight alerts, straight ideas, everything 16% off until the end of this month. And the coupon code for our individual courses also expires at the end of this month, coupon code May50. So take advantage of it. Link's going to be down below. As always, happy investing. I'll see you all in the next video.